Welcome to the LA Story Podcast with Stevie Wilson.
Hey people, this is Stevie for the LA Story. Yeah, this looks a little different from where you usually see me. Usually see me in my kitchen, or you'll see me in other places. Well, this is Makin Waves Salon. You remember the piece I did on hair extensions with Susie? You'll see Susie later. This is Colleen. Colleen's going to talk to us about what happens when your hair color goes wrong. When you go to a salon and they give you something that you didn't ask for, something that turned orange, which is what mine did, something where you actually had asked them to do something specific, and within less than 2 weeks your roots are growing out, and you're kind of going, what the heck happened? So Colleen, what are we going to do? What happened to me? And then what are we going to do?
It's so common, and I hear it all the time. People go in and they ask for a specific style and they come out with something completely different. So what I'm going to do today is try to do a color correction on you. I will do a color correction on you. You asked for just a few highlights, and you ended up with an entire head of highlights. So what I'm going to do is give you low lighting and a few highlights and correct what has happened here.
Yeah, because I only told her I wanted to do the base, the roots, and can we just please do a few face framing highlights? And then suddenly she's telling me she's doing a whole weave.
Yeah, I don't understand. I'm very good at listening, so I just don't understand it. It happens a lot. I get a lot of people that sit in my chair and say, I went in and I asked for this and I got this, and it actually flabbergasts me. I just don't understand why stylists don't listen to their client. So I listen to my client, and I'm going to correct it for you.
Yeah, because I remember asking her, what are you doing? And she goes, I decided you needed a weave instead because we needed to break it up. And I'm like kind of going, I didn't ask you for that. And she goes, yeah, I know. That's okay.
Yeah.
And then, she got to, the bill was astonishingly.
That's when I usually tell somebody that comes to my place and say, did you go back and ask for your money back? Because you didn't get what you asked for. And some people do. Some people actually have the guts to go back and ask for their money back and say, this is not what I asked for. But for the most part, people just suck it up and end up with the wrong hair color and go get it corrected somewhere else.
Yeah.
If you want to keep your client coming back to you, you have to be consistent and you have to listen. And that's all I can say. I really don't know why there's so many stylists that don't hear or communicate with their client exactly what it is that they're talking about. And if they don't understand it, there's been times when I don't exactly get it. I'm very good at hearing it because I've been a stylist for many years, so I'm good at hearing it. There's some people that just don't, and I don't understand why they don't just pull out a book and say, show me the color you're talking about.
Okay.
Show me a picture. Bring in pictures is my recommendation to people that can't describe themselves exactly what it is they're looking for with words, verbally, with a hairdresser. And if they feel like they're not communicating it correctly to the hairstylist, then pull out books and find the color. Find the few highlights framing the face with the darker undertones. Find exactly what it is you're talking about. Get online. There's so many reference pictures
Oh, absolutely.
online. And there's a lot of people that copy Hollywood, copy the stars' hairstyles and the stars' hair colors. So find pictures of them, bring them into the hairstylist and say, this is what I want. Are we communicating this? Are we on the same page? That's my recommendation.
And if you realize that they're doing something wrong, should you stop them in mid?
I don't ever get offended if a client of mine, but I've been in the business for a very long time. I think I've always been this way, though. I do not get offended when somebody says, what are you doing right there? Is that going to be a highlight? Is that going to be a low light? Is that going to be short right there? Or, if they stop and question me, I'll stop and explain. And if we're not on the same page, I say, well, I'm glad you spoke up. So speaking up to your hairstylist is important. If you find something going wrong.
Means I should have stopped her and said, no, that's not what I opted
putting
at.
in a lot of foils. Are those all highlights? Because I only want a few.
Yeah, and I don't want them in the back. I want them in the front.
Right. Yeah. I don't get offended. There are some diva stylists out there that will say, oh, shush your mouth, I know what I'm doing. That's not the kind of hairstylist people want.
No, they don't. They clearly don't.
Yeah.
So people, you'll get to see the end product of this, and then you'll see Susie, because Susie's going to be putting extensions in my hair, which is something totally new and different for me too. So this is Stevie for the LA Story. Hey people, this is Stevie for the LA Story, and this is Colleen with me after the hair color. So Colleen, why don't you tell everybody what you did?
First I did highlights. I kept a few of the pieces that you had, and I just went in and touched up at the base and protected those pieces in foils so that you would still have your pop of lightness around your face. And then I went in between and the rest of the base of your hair with a 20 volume because of gray coverage. So I used a 20 volume and used a level 6, which I thought would be a little deeper than what Stevie wanted because of speaking with her earlier, and I love it. I think that the actual base color is perfect. I thought
it's really different.
Yeah. Well, I was telling you, it will fade anyways because you do have that lighter brassy color underneath, so I wanted it to be a little deeper to start because over the next week or so it is going to lighten a little bit more. So anyway, we started with level 6 and did a 6RB. A lot of people would shy away from using a red base over that orange that you had, but it was a red beige. The beige helps neutralize that red base, but I only did a partial of that with the rest of just a natural level 6 so that it would cut out that and for gray coverage. And then when I combed it through the rest of the hair, I used a level 10, a developer in 10 volume instead of 20 because you need a deposit more than anything. If I used 20, it would have exploded the hair shaft. It wouldn't have covered as well. It would just wash out and it would have been a waste of my time and effort. So I used a 10 volume, pulled through the rest of it to help it hold and seal and lock that color in.
Okay, and then so I'm supposed to go home and do a rinse with white vinegar?
You could do white vinegar, yeah, cider vinegar. It helps hold red. Red is such a fake pigment in color tubes. A tube of color, it's not real, it's very fake, it's very hard to keep lasting. It's hard to keep it from looking chalky and drab. So if you do a quick cider or vinegar rinse in your hair, it helps seal that color in, re-harden the hair shaft, and seal the red in and lock it in. It helps your colors last longer, your red colors last longer.
Okay, people, so we'd like to thank Colleen for her time today, and I'm really, really happy with this. This is amazing what she said. And you'll see more pictures, the real, like with me not sitting with the camera in front of me. So you'll get a real look of the front, side, and back. So this is Stevie for the LA Story. I mean, if you want to come visit here, there'll be a link to the blog, to her website, or Makin Waves, so that you can call in and make an appointment to see her because she's amazing. So this is Stevie for the LA Story saying see you soon.
Thanks for joining Stevie Wilson on LA Story. Feel free to check out other podcasts and videos. Bookmark it now. www.la-story.com.